Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this November, somewhere around the middle of November edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Nolan.
And I'm Daniel Pineda.
And here we go with our rather chilly show here. Hope you're bundled up for this these chilly November temperatures and possibly how did you like the wintry mix?
That's tomorrow.
The wintry mix. Our usual suspects here on the old rundown sheet: news and community bulletin board, and some vintage from the archives, some vintage footage for an EBG segment with Lily Whitesell-Carvallo. Then our CBB segment, as I mentioned, community bulletin board. A roll in Denise Pringle, our theater reviewer, talking about King John tonight. Our senior segment, and then a roll in from our styrofoam mom and another installment of her sustainable scoop, Miriam Gennari. And that's our show. But before we begin, social media.
Absolutely,
time.
Mr. Nolan. Well, you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News. And the number one.
And the number one.
And also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. And also on the radio.
Also on the radio at 96.7 LPFM WERA. Check us out.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, to start our newscast,
beginning tonight.
Craig, as most everyone knows by now, Amazon has announced their decision to split the secondary headquarters between New York and what is now known as Crystal City in Arlington. We'll have more information and analysis next week. For now, here's more local news. Craig.
So we're getting half of HQ2 coming to Crystal City. That's pretty big news. All right, as promised, now here we go with the first of our news items. You got a pen left? There we go. Good job. All right. Item number one. Well, the fact that things cooled down in November isn't usually news, but a recent frost warning may have prompted some of our viewers to wonder if it isn't getting just a little bit colder than usual these days. And well, as it turns out, it is. They're right. A comparison of the recent and upcoming high temps show that we haven't reached our average November high temperature of 59 degrees since November 9. And that's not likely to happen for at least the next 10 days. So bundle up, get those winter coats out and gloves and scarves and all that stuff. We're in for a cold spell. Daniel.
It's getting colder and colder as the months go by, right, Craig? Well, some viewers in South Arlington may remember some features of the Westmont Shopping Center in the 1960s. Well, the center is located at the intersection of South Leap Road and Columbia Pike. Once housed a branch of the Arlington County Public Library, along with the legendary Brenner's Bakery, the site of many a broken diet. Later occupants included Dart Drug. Although the occupants have changed over the years, the basic structure, well, has remained intact. But that may not be the case for much longer. Republic Properties Corporation, best known for the Potomac Mills Mall in Woodbridge, is planning to redevelop the location to include 250 new apartments above 23,225 feet of retail space, all in a 6-story building. The plan includes 285 spaces of underground parking for residents, along with 60 surface parking spots for visitors. County planners are currently reviewing the proposed development. Craig.
All right, another hot item in our November edition of the Arlington Weekly News here. Once again, it's time for leaf collection, and most of us have plenty of them laying around all over the place to help with getting rid of the extras. Here's a schedule for the final passes of the vacuum leaf collection truck, or as we affectionately say here, the suck trucks. The first pass is already in progress, so here's a last chance list for the second and final passes in Zone 1, which will be collected December 4 through 6. They're coming to your neighborhood in Alcova Heights, Arlington Mill, Arlington View, Ballston, Virginia Square, Boulevard Manor, Clarendon Courthouse, Colonial Village, and Columbia Heights. And with more on leaf collection, here's Senor Pineda.
Absolutely, Mr. Nolan. Well, continuing the December 4th through 6th pass, we have more. Dominion Hills, Forest Glen, Forest Hills, Foxcroft Heights, Glencarlin, John M. Langston, Long Branch Creek, Knock, North Highlands, North Roslyn, Radnor, Fort Myer Heights, Waycroft, Woodland. Zone 2 leaf collection runs from December the 6th through the 10th, and it includes Aurora Hills, Highlands, Claremont, Douglas Park, Gleepwood, Highland Park, Overlea Knolls, Lee Way, Overlea, Madison Manor, Old Dominion, Penrose, Waverly Hills, Westover Village. If your neighborhood hasn't been mentioned yet, don't despair. Just tune in again next week, of course, for more information.
Don't despair. I got to get around more. Where in the world is Foxcroft Heights? I've never heard of that one. All right, we'll be back with our CBB segment right after we look at some vintage out of the archives video of the original Easy Being Green segment producer, Lily Whitesell-Carvallo. Here's Lily.
Maybe you've heard people throwing around the term invasive plant lately, native plants. The word invasive seems to be pretty straightforward, implying that the plant is growing rapidly in areas where it shouldn't, that it's invading new areas. And the definition is right along those lines. An invasive plant is a non-native plant that causes ecological or economic harm, particularly because of its aggressiveness. Because invasives are not native, when they start growing in an area, they don't have the normal ecological checks and balances that they evolved with, which means that that it's easy for them to get out of hand. Sometimes they were originally planted for well-intentioned reasons. English ivy, for example, was originally brought over from Europe and has been planted widely as a ground cover, but again has gotten out of hand, invading many of our local parks from people's backyards. Along with other invasive vines, English ivy can strangle and kill even mature trees, which is a really terrible sight to see if you've ever seen it. Invasive plants often crowd out all other plants, creating biodiversity deserts. When you enter an area dominated by these invasives, you'll see nothing but the same handful of overly aggressive non-native plants like porcelainberry, mile-a-minute weed, or Japanese stiltgrass. How can you help turn the tide in your own yard? One way to help is by planting native plants. Native plants are not only beautiful, they also have great habitat value. The migratory birds and critters that they've co-evolved with depend on them for food during certain times of the year, so you're helping them out as well.
All right, thanks, Lily. And I have a question for you. Maybe we can do this next time about kudzu. Do you know what kudzu is?
Oh, kudzu is the classic invasive
All right,
plant.
hold that thought. We'll
All
talk
right,
about
we can
kudzu.
talk about it some other
Maybe
time.
We'll talk about kudzu next time.
Kudzu, kudzu, kudzu.
And we're still working on the kudzu, right?
Kudzu, I will bring in a sample for you.
We'll get some kudzu out here yet for you yet. All right.
We'll remove it all from the parks, though.
Absolutely.
So what's all the fuss about kudzu? Why this obsession? Well, it turns out that kudzu is also known as Japanese arrowroot, and it's a member of the pea family. If you happen to see one of the things in flower, you might think it's quite pretty, with its graceful arcing shape and rich shades of green, indigo, and violet. If, on the other hand, you come across a bunch of kudzu seed pods, you'll see a deep green spiny cluster that clearly looks like it's up to something. The real wallop comes when the kudzu has spread to completely engulf entire landscapes, climbing trees, covering grasses, and generally taking over everything. While it was popular in the 1930s as a way to reduce soil erosion, when it goes unchecked, it tends to reduce just about everything else in the area. One way to manage it is to encourage grazing by goats and llamas, since the stuff is edible. Anyway, that should finally take care of the big kudzu question, at least for now.
And again, please remember, it is easy being green.
Well, we look younger.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Lily, the original producer and creator of It's Easy Being Green, and we thanks to Lily.
You look so young there.
Thank you, for digging that out of our vaults, archival vintage. That was kind of vintage footage. That was kind of good. Okay, here we go as promised now. CBB, Community Bulletin Board file. Item number 1. Here's a nice event for kids ages 3 to 6. It's called the Turtle Thanksgiving, and the concept, very simple, make a nice lunch for some turtles. Participants will chop up fresh fruits and vegetables for the main course, followed by worms for dessert, of course. It may seem strange, but it's a better deal than most turkeys get. That's coming up on Tuesday, November 20 from 10:30 to 11:30 in the morning at Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park. They're located at 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Admission is FRWE free, but caretakers must also attend. Daniel.
Free, free, free.
Free, free, free.
Can't beat it.
Your turn.
Well, attention fiction writers, there's a special meeting especially for writers of fiction. And I promise that we are not making this up. It's a chance to meet informally with other writers for an evening of communal writing, cheerleading, and support. The group meets on Wednesday nights from 5 to 8 p.m. That's at The Connection, which is located at 2100 Crystal Drive in Crystal City. The location may sound fictional, but the meetings are certainly real. Craig.
And also on CBB.
Take two.
Take 2 or 3, sorry. CBB, as the weather turns colder, there are fewer and fewer outdoor events, but here's an idea for families with children ages 4 and older. It's the Fun Fall Family Hike, and it's a chance to take a hike, get a great view of the Potomac River as you search for the fall's last wildflowers, busy squirrels, and a whole lot more. Bring along a snack to eat beside the river. Registration is $5, that's not bad, and it all takes place on Saturday, November 24, from 2:30 to 4 in the afternoon at Long Branch. Take 2, Gulf Branch Nature Center and Park, 3608 North Military Road. For more information and to register, give them a call at this number on your screen there and in your ear now, 703-228-3403. Beneda, your turn.
Absolutely, Craig. Well, here's some advance notice. The AIM WERA fundraiser is coming up with special programming during the evenings from December the 3rd through December the 10th. Be sure to tune in and let your friends know as well. Programs will even stream via the internet so you don't have to miss out. Meanwhile, the websites are always open for donations. Go to arlingtonmedia.org and WERA.FM. Correct.
All right, get out that folding green and help support WERA
Absolutely.
and AIM. All right. We'll be back with news for seniors right after we hear from Denise and her thoughts on King John. Here's Denise.
King John is not one of William Shakespeare's better-known histories. Unlike the ubiquitous Henry or Richard plays, it is not frequently performed. However, the current production at Folger Theatre, directed by Aaron Posner, shows off the obscure play to its best advantage. This version features a unique distinction. The entire cast is on stage at the beginning of the production, and each actor gives an introduction to his character and explains his role in this story of King John's quest to maintain a grasp on his weak claim to the throne. It was a welcome innovation, as the histories can be quite confusing. King John has succeeded his brother Richard the Lionheart, but the King of France and Constance think her son Arthur, John's nephew, is the rightful heir to the throne. Then the bastard son of Richard appears and further clouds the trail of succession. King John shares the love of power that many of Shakespeare's leading men display, and of course, he isn't above ordering the murder of a child to protect his claim to the throne. Brian Dykstra as King John, Holly Twyford as Constance, and Kate Eastwood Norris as Philip Falconbridge, Richard's son, turn in performances that elevate this minor play into a powerful study of England's worst king. Norris recently performed Lady Macbeth at the Folger and shows her considerable range in this depiction of Philip. Her character's gender poses no acting obstacles for her. The look of the play is kept simple in Andrew Cohen's set design, a large rustic throne with a massive crown hanging above it. The crown hangs askew. It's a silent accusation that something is awry in King John's claim to the throne. The black and white costumes by Sarah Cubbage look vaguely Victorian, but they don't try to force the 13th century events of this play into another specific era. Is there irony in the fact that the interest of a foreign king into the eternal affairs of another country Sounds so current. King John runs through December 2nd at Folger Theater. It's another attempt by Folger to acquaint its audience with a lesser-known Shakespearean play, to broaden their appreciation of the bard's total body of work and its relevance to modern life. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
All right, thanks, Denise. We appreciate it. Her thoughts
job.
on King John down at the Folger.
I think she liked it.
I think maybe she did. Okay, here we go. As promised now, news for seniors. News for seniors glass is in place and almost in focus. That's what it looks like. Here we go. Need some help with your computer, tablet, or smartphone, iPhone, that sort of stuff? Fear not. One-on-one help and instruction is available to seniors at Lee Senior Center. Volunteer instructor Jim Morris will be there to give you a hand with email, internet access, Google searches, Microsoft Office, and more. Instruction is available on most Mondays and Fridays between 10 and 11 a.m. at Lee Community and Senior Center. They're located at 5722 Lee Highway. To schedule an appointment, give them a call at the number on your screen. Here we go, 703-228-5722. Daniel.
And now that Amazon's coming, you have to know
my
this
goodness.
stuff, right?
You gotta know this stuff.
Well, Craig, there's also a computer specialist for seniors who have Apple products. Lowell Nelson is an exceptional Apple user who is available for one-on-one consultations. He can answer questions and help you use Mac computers, iPads, and even iPhones more effectively. You can schedule an appointment with him on Wednesday, that's November the 21st, between 10 a.m. and 12:15 p.m. That's at the Aurora Hills Community and Senior Center, located at 735 18th Street South. Just give them a call at 703-228-5722. Craig.
Daniel, also in our News for Seniors segment, here's a chance to learn about the newest and best job search websites and apps. Catherine Pons, who is a volunteer with ARP, will demonstrate how to boost your digital presence and get the attention of hiring managers. This presentation takes place on Monday, November 26th from 1:30 to 2:30 in the afternoon at Aurora Hills Community and Senior Center, 735 18th Street South. More information and registration is available at this number, 703-228-5722. Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Nolan.
Absolutely.
Well, Craig, senior centers will be closed in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday on Thursday, November the 22nd, and on Friday, November the 23rd. However, the 55-plus travel office has arranged a Thanksgiving Day lunch at Dutch's Daughter in Frederick, Maryland. The group will leave by bus from 2 locations. One group will depart on Thursday, November the 22nd at 9:20 a.m. from the Gunston Community Center, located at 2700 South Lane Street. The other group will leave at 9:45 a.m. from the Madison Community Center, located at 3829 North Stafford Street. The round-trip bus transportation and lunch will cost $70. For more information and to register, give them a call at 703-228-4748. And of course, thank you so much to our own Judy Masomny for contributing our senior stories for the week. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication.
Thanks, Judy. Lunch at Dutch's Daughter. I'm going to write that down, make a note of that.
You can
Lunch
do it,
at
Craig.
Dutch's
You
Daughter.
can go to that.
Sounds pretty good. All right, we'll be back with sign-off and bye-bye right after we hear from our Styrofoam mom. Here's Miriam Gennari and another installment of her Sustainable Scoop.
Welcome to the Sustainable Scoops Gift Giving Special. My guests today are Gareth Lewis with Sekoyia.com, so they can find you.
Yes.
And of course, Helene Shore, welcome back. She is with Virginia Green Baggers and also 350 Fairfax. So one thing that people want to know, especially with me, they're very careful about giving me a gift because I'm always picking things apart. I want to do things right. And even I want people to be thoughtful about being sustainable when they give me a gift. Helene, tell me about some of the things that you think you'd like to receive for the holidays or for a birthday that might be, different from other people.
Okay, so one of the things that I always like is an experience. It is totally sustainable. take me out to dinner, cook me a dinner, take me to a show or a movie, let's go for a hike or a walk. So those are the kinds of things that I would really like.
Zero waste there, right?
Zero waste.
Okay, what about you, Gareth?
Personally, I think a lot of people could use some of the bare essentials to get you started on your sustainable journey. And that's where we launched this Jumpstart box.
So do you mind if I
Yeah,
open your
let's take a
Jumpstart
look.
box? And in the meantime, Helene, I thought I remember you telling me once how much plastic we could save with a bar of soap.
Oh, yes.
Have you quantified that?
No, I haven't quantified the bar of soap, but a bar of soap is very sustainable. It doesn't come in plastic. You can get it in paper wrap, or there's soap that isn't even wrapped in anything. It lasts a lot longer. It's cheaper, and no plastic.
So a lot of people think that it costs a lot of money to be sustainable, but that's just not the case.
I actually think that it's cheaper to be sustainable. You're reusing a water bottle instead of buying water bottles. You're reusing things like a straw. You can get a stainless steel, a bamboo, or something like that, and you're reusing it instead of buying plastic straws for your house. You're reusing things like to wrap a sandwich in.
Oh, here's one right here.
Yeah.
This is it. Okay, so these are pieces of fabric with a liner,
Yep.
and they're stitched beautifully, but there's a little Velcro there.
Right.
That helps you snap it shut. Now, do you have one of these, Helene?
I do,
You
right
have one
here.
of your
There you
own.
go.
How about that? And then I was complaining about toilet paper.
Yes.
And I know that, no, don't send me toilet paper as a gift.
Yes.
But be thoughtful about the things that you purchase. If you really are trying to go plastic free or reduce your waste. And Helene, you said,
Yeah, so plastic is not necessary to wrap up toilet paper. You can get toilet paper that's wrapped in paper, and the paper itself is recyclable, and the toilet paper is recyclable, as is the cardboard core.
So obviously, Helene, you're somebody who thinks through these things very, very, in a very detailed way. But Gareth, not all of us spend the time researching things the way that Helene does to do them right. And so that's why you created Sekoyia.
Yes.
So that you could tell me.
Yeah, so we created Sekoyia on the mission to enable individuals to start living more sustainably. And so what we try to do is make sustainability accessible. And so we're providing you the best alternatives that are out there. So we've tested them ourselves. We've tested a wide variety of these items and
Lots of them here.
and picked out the best ones for you. And so we were just talking about toilet paper, and this is actually a great, funny brand. Who gives a crap? But
That's great.
But this
okay,
is
so something for my husband.
yeah, there you go. This is made out of bamboo,
Oh, wow.
which is a very sustainable plant. I mean, it's one of the fastest growing plant in the world.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I also think packaging is such a big problem, especially when you're trying to give somebody a gift. And I just love the bag that your box comes
Yeah.
in. Will you show it to us?
Yeah, of course. So there is, and everyone sees the Amazon packages that we get, and they just pile up and pile up. So what we try to do is this Jumpstart box is going to be zero waste, and really everything in it is going to be reusable. So the Jumpstart itself will come in a shipping container like this.
A shipping container
shipping-
for our
a shipping
radio
bag.
listeners.
Yes.
A beautiful bag.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Tough material.
Tough material
And then once you receive it, you just turn it inside out.
Okay.
And you'll have either a tote bag
Okay.
or a backpack.
You can make it into a backpack, and
Yeah.
it's durable too.
Yes, and it's very durable. It's even semi-waterproof too.
Yeah, it looks to be.
Yeah.
So these are the kinds of things that won't collect around your house,
Right.
but they'll be very, very useful.
Yeah.
And speaking of useful, we have to get rid of those plastic bags.
We certainly do.
And so I don't have to buy a bag from you because you make these beautiful bags out of recycled fabrics and you give them away.
Yes, so we get donated fabric, and we have volunteers who sew bags, and we give them away for free. All we ask is that people use it instead of paper or plastic. And to date, we've given away over 3,100 bags.
Wow.
Wow, where do people find you? Where do you go?
So we have been to schools, we have been to farmers markets, we have been to churches, to a mosque, we have been to nature centers. We'll go almost anywhere and give away our bags.
And what's really nice is that there's a situation where you don't even have to purchase anything. You just have to learn to be a little bit more thoughtful. And that's kind of what I like about your company, Gareth, that in addition to providing these really great products that are hard to find, I mean, I love this right here. It's an in-season produce calendar. That's a great idea. Take a look at that, Aline. I mean, you know, so many of us want strawberries year round, you know, or we want oranges all the time. If you put that on the refrigerator, I could at least tell my daughter that, look, we cannot give you blueberries in January because, and you know what, they care, but they also want to know why. So it's a lot of great information too. Now we're all concerned about fossil fuels and reducing our energy impact, and that's something that you have a box that helps you do that also, right?
Right, so we have an energy box that helps you transition, and in that had some LED bulbs, an advanced power strip, and then some fun, more natural energy bars.
Right. And then on top of just kind of changing your own personal behavior, we can also go to 350 Fairfax and we could learn more about how we can reduce fossil fuels in Arlington, in Alexandria, in Falls Church, and Fairfax, and definitely in Virginia. Well, I want to thank both of you for coming here and giving us wonderful gift ideas. I hope you'll come back again.
We'd love to.
Wonderful. And I want to thank all of you for watching The Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk.
Thanks, Miriam.
Thank you, Miriam.
Get your gift wrapping out. Get those gift cards
It's coming up,
out.
the holidays,
Holy
right?
cow, let's get through Thanksgiving first and this wintry
I feel like we
mix.
just passed Halloween, right?
Yeah, really. Well, we should probably push all this frivolity and funny stuff aside for a while and just make mention that you may have noticed that our friend and partner and co-anchor down here, Adele, is not with us this evening because she lost her mom. So Adele, she's home taking care of what she needs to take care of. And we just want you to know that we're thinking about you, and our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family on the loss of your mom. So when you feel like it and you're in better spirits, come back and join us again.
And our condolences, obviously, Adele, to you and your family. We miss you, and we're here for you.
So we'll try this again next week. We will have a show. There will be a Thanksgiving show next week, even though it's Thanksgiving week. So don't go away. We'll be back after Thanksgiving with another installment of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. So thanks, all you folks out there in TV land, for watching. If you're out there, we'll be back here and we'll try it all again. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.